What is up, guys? Del Boy here. So we have some news coming out of the heavyweight division. David Price will fight Kash on March 30th, and it will be part of the Liam Smith versus Sam Eggington undercard. Now, I've not seen the general reaction to this fight, but I really don't have a problem with this because let's be honest about it. David Price at this stage, if he's fighting anybody with a bit of ambition and some confidence, there's always a chance he's going to get upset. It's just that simple. David Price has a poor chin, a poor gas tank, a terrible defense. He has confidence issues and, he's extremely vulnerable, to be quite honest. And even a low-level guy like Kash has a shot at beating him, to be quite honest. Now, I have seen a bit of Kash and he's very basic. He's got a jab, he's got a looping right hand, and that is pretty much it, to be quite honest. He's fairly crude, he's fairly rudimentary, and any serious contender shouldn't have any problems with Kash. But as we know, David Price is no longer a serious contender. He hasn't been for quite some time, if he's ever been, let's be honest about it. And, if Kash can stay in there a few rounds and soak up what David Price has to offer, maybe there's a chance that he could catch David Price with something big. Maybe he could catch David Price with that big overhand right, because that shot will be there for him when David Price tires. When David Price tires, it's so obvious. He drops his guard extremely low, and he is open for that right hand, especially from a smaller guy like Kash, who will bring it down from low and have it coming over the top. That shot can definitely connect. It's just whether Kash can sort of see out the first few rounds, because Kash, like I said, he's very basic. Like I said, a jab, a looping wild right hand, and that's pretty much it. There's nothing else there really. Defensively, he makes a lot of mistakes. His right hand is quite wide. So basically, if David Price can straighten up his punches, he can punch inside of Kash and do some damage. Also, Kash jab looks very lazy. It's a fairly slow jab. Sometimes he'll snap it out there. Sometimes he'll put a power jab in. But for the most part, from what I've seen, Kash has a lazy jab that he brings back fairly low, and then he puts his hand to his chin. So a straight right hand from David Price could also be a key punch here. Ultimately, I expect David Price to win this fight. Kash is very basic. I would say he's area level, English level at best, but he's not going anywhere further than that in my opinion. And as bad as David Price has been in recent years, as vulnerable as he is, he should be beating guys like this. But you can't bet on David Price. You can't assume David Price is going to win a fight like this because it takes one shot, and as we know, David Price doesn't have the best whiskers in the world, so Kash will be dangerous. Kash will give it a go, and he's going to come to fight. So all in all, I don't really mind this fight, to be quite honest. Just by virtue of how vulnerable David Price is, how entertaining David Price is, and the fact he's fighting a wild, crude, but confident heavyweight. So listen, David Price should win. But there's always that if factor with David Price. What happens if he gets caught on the chin? What happens if it goes past the first few rounds? Listen, David Price is pure entertainment. He's never going to be a world champion. He's not going to be a European champion. But what he will do is give us some entertainment. And let's be honest, we all love a David Price fight. So yeah, I'm not mad at this fight. I will give it a watch. And the upset wouldn't be out of the question. Let's be honest about it. Share your thoughts below. Peace.